Okay, so I'm going to show you guys an example of a PBL that's already been done. This is a Google slide that students presented, and I just want to show you this so that you have an idea of what your presentation should look like. So this is the title slide, and the title slide basically is just going to have a title of what your topic is about. And then in the speaker notes here, as you can see, the students type out what it is that they want to say. So the slide is what your audience is going to see, but everything that they're going to say is here in the speaker notes. And it also says which student is going to be presenting that part. So the majority of your time really should be spent typing in the speaker notes. And then at the end, you can polish up your slides to make them look nice and to really show what it is you're trying to say. So this part goes into why it's a problem. In this case, actually, I'm going to go ahead and present so that I can show you what this slide does. It's actually really neat. So on the second slide, it starts out with, why is polystyrene bad? Polystyrene is another word for styrofoam. And so their topic is styrofoam, the school's use of styrofoam lunch trays. Well, every time they tap on their iPad during their presentation, a new fact pops up. So at this part, they're talking about how why they're giving different reasons why it's bad. So every time they click, something new pops up. And if you want me to show you how to do that, I can. It's just in the transitions tab. I'd be happy to show you. So then that is how that slide ends. And so then it goes on to the next slide. So as you can see, each individual slide has its own speaker notes covering all of the project requirements. So this is where they're giving a detailed explanation of the problem. And then this is the slide where they talk about their story. So you have to have a story that is an example that illustrates your problem. So if your problem is water scarcity in Africa, you could find a specific community in Africa and explain maybe what a family would go through under those conditions of not being able to find water. So in this slide, their story is about another school that tried to ban styrofoam lunch trays, in which the principal got on the roof in order to raise money. So this is an example story to illustrate their problem. And as you can tell, the slide just has a picture of that principal and a story from Elkin Elementary in North Carolina. But then here in the speaker notes, they go on to talk about that in detail. Also, you have to talk about why should people care about this problem. So that's all that's on the slide. That way the audience knows that you're explaining why people should care about this problem. You want your audience to listen to what you have to say and not reading off of your slides. So Addie presents this slide and she talks about why people should care. And then they go into talking about how is CMS contributing to this problem. And so at this point, they're still talking about the problem. So they are hitting all of the requirements about their problem here in the problem slides. And just as you can see, all of their research notes are typed in. So as I'm walking around the classroom, I want to see groups typing in the speaker notes and not spending so much time on how their slides look. I think that part should come last after you know exactly what you're going to say. Also, what's nice is when you go to practice your presentation, you can have a good idea of what it is you want to say. If you practice this part so many times, then you won't be reading off your iPad. You also want to make sure that you're not reading off of your iPad as you present to the community members. Then they go into talking about the solution next. So I like that their slide here just lays out their process in this nice, clean format. So step 1, step 2, and step 3, this is their process for their solution. Then they talk about the financial information and the technical details. Again, this slide uses the transitions, so these parts right here pop up later. If you go to insert, let's see, you go to transitions. I think you go, so change transition. So if you click on a part right here, like I clicked on this text, then I go to slide, I can actually change the transition to be whatever I want. I can have it fade in or slide into the slide, however you decide. Then as I go through here, It goes into, how much would each tray cost? Does the district end up saving money? So they go into a very detailed explanation of how they plan to get rid of styrofoam lunch trays in our lunchroom. And then at the end, they have a question slide asking if anybody has any questions. And the very last slide, they've got sources. Now, the only thing I would recommend that these students did not do, they just pasted their links in here. I would recommend using a website like CiteFast in order to put your sources into APA format. I just thought that this example slide would be a great resource for you to create your own slide. If you have any questions, you know where to find me.